What if I told you that some of Hollywood's greatest performances came at a price that nearly destroyed the actors who gave them? We're talking about transformations so extreme that they left permanent scars, both physical and mental. And one of these stories ends in tragedy that shocked the entire world. By the end of this video, you'll never look at your favorite movie performances the same way again. Today, we'll explore 5 actors who pushed their bodies to the limit for their roles. From locking themselves in a hotel room to starving themselves to the bone, they delivered performances that won hearts and the biggest awards. But how did they do it, and at what cost? Let's dive in. The master of physical extremes, Christian Bale. Christian Bale is undisputed when it comes to extreme transformations. But his role in The Machinist 2004 takes the crown. Playing Trevor Resnick, a man crippled by insomnia, Bale lost 63 pounds, going from 173 to 110 pounds on a diet of just 1 apple and black coffee a day. Surviving on less than 200 calories, he became so weak he could barely climb stairs, later describing himself as feeling like a living corpse. Producers were so terrified for his life, they forced him to stop losing weight at 120 pounds. Director Brad Anderson was stunned. He hadn't expected such brutal dedication. But here's the twist. Just 5 months later, Bale had to pack on 100 pounds to become Batman. Think about that for a second. His body went from skeletal to superhero in less than half a year. Doctors say this kind of extreme weight cycling can cause permanent damage to your metabolism, heart, and organs. Bale himself described the experience as hell and said his body felt like it was betraying him every morning. His haunting performance turned The Machinist into a cult classic. But behind the scenes was a battle that cost him a lot. Bale's transformations were just the beginning of this dangerous trend in Hollywood. Wait till you hear what Charlize Theron did next. The complete disappearance, Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron, known for being one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood, made herself beyond unrecognizable. Not just different, completely erased. For the movie Monster 2003, she didn't just gain 30 pounds and wear prosthetics. She studied hours of footage of real serial killer Aileen Wuornos, learning her walk, her voice, her facial expressions, even her psychological breakdown patterns.
I fucking think I'm stupid enough to get back into a fucking car with you when there's a...
Please.
Victor Warren.
For months, Charlize didn't just act. She became Wuornos, living inside the serial killer mindset throughout those long days on set. The transformation was so terrifyingly real that a producer mistook her for a stand-in. Her dedication paid off with an Oscar for Best Actress, with critics like Roger Ebert calling it one of the greatest performances in cinema history. When you watch Monster, you're not seeing Charlize Theron at all. And that's a level of psychological commitment that blurs the line between acting and losing yourself. Extreme duality of Jared Leto. Jared Leto is known for his extreme jaw-dropping transformations. In Dallas Buyers Club 2013, he shed over 30 pounds, dropping to a haunting 116 pounds to become Rayon, a fragile transgender woman battling AIDS. I stopped eating, Leto confessed to the Wrap, revealing how the weight loss reshaped not just his body, but his very way of moving and thinking. That vulnerability earned him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Then, for Chapter 27, he flipped the script completely, packing on 60 pounds by devouring pizza and melted ice cream drenched in soy sauce to embody Mark David Chapman. The drastic gain came with a heavy price, severe health issues, including gout, as he revealed to Yahoo Entertainment. His extreme duality is a testament to his craft, but also a stark warning about the cost of such transformations. Next, let's explore how Tom Hanks faced his own physical transformation and what it reveals about the price of embodying a character completely. Tom Hanks's survival sacrifice. Tom Hanks's role in Castaway 2003 required a dramatic shift. Playing Chuck Noland, a man stranded alone on an island, Hanks lost a staggering 55 pounds, going from 225 to 170 pounds, as reported by Entertainment Weekly. Production was paused for a year to allow this change, during which he survived on almost nothing but coffee. Hanks's thinner frame made the survival story gripping, capturing audiences worldwide, earning him a Golden Globe and an Oscar nomination. But behind the role lay a darker cost. Hanks later revealed that these brutal weight swings, including those for Philadelphia, played a role in his type 2 diabetes diagnosis. This is the hidden price of extreme transformation, where art and sacrifice collide in the most personal way. But all of these transformations pale in comparison to what happened to one young actor who thought he was just having fun with a comic book character. Heath Ledger's descent into darkness, Joker. Now we come to the story that changed everything. Heath Ledger's transformation into the Joker for The Dark Knight started as creative excitement, but ended in tragedy that shocked the world. Ledger isolated himself in a London hotel room for 6 weeks, completely cutting off contact with the outside world. But this wasn't just about getting into character. This was about disappearing into madness. He created what became known as the Joker Diary, filled with disturbing images of hyenas, pictures from A Clockwork Orange, and handwritten dialogue that gave a chilling glimpse into the character's twisted mind. The final page of that diary, just the words "bye-bye" written in large letters. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. That left his mouth constantly dry. That's why he kept licking his lips during filming. It wasn't scripted, it was a physical consequence of his method. His voice was being damaged by staying in character. And remember the interrogation scene where the Joker gets beaten up? Christian Bale refused to actually hit him, so Ledger threw himself against the walls with such force that tiles cracked and dented. He was literally hurting himself for authenticity. The most heartbreaking part? Ledger's insomnia, which he'd struggled with before, became severe during this period. He was averaging only 2 hours of sleep per night. His acting was so captivating that it truly transformed the character into someone unforgettable. Tragically, 2 months later, in January 2008, he passed away, an accidental overdose of prescription medications. That many believe was tied to the insomnia and darkness he embraced. Ledger's performance won an Oscar and redefined villainy on film. But behind the curtain, his final days were a sobering reminder. He was a dedicated professional who pushed himself too far while believing he was just doing good work. The next time you watch The Dark Knight and see Heath Ledger's Joker, remember that you're watching a man who isolated himself for weeks, damaged his voice, hurt his body, and paid with his life, all to create that character. When you see Christian Bale as the emaciated insomniac in The Machinist, remember that he was actually starving himself. When you watch Charlize Theron disappear into Aileen Wuornos, remember that she spent months learning to think like a serial killer. These actors didn't just transform their bodies, they transformed their entire beings. And while we celebrate their incredible performances, we should also remember the price they paid to give them to us. What do you think? Are these extreme transformations worth the risk? Or has Hollywood gone too far in demanding authenticity from its actors? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe because we're diving deep into more shocking Hollywood secrets that will change how you see your favorite movies forever.